Welcome to the Common Man Football Show. My name is James Coburn, and today's episode we're going to be talking about Washington Redskins linebacker slash safety Su'a Cravens. He is someone who, in the news recently, multiple sources have reported he's been having some issues in terms of thinking about retirement, telling his teammates that he should retire. And there's been a lot of talk and discussion about him in terms of, should he retire, should he not, what's the best decision for him, and all this kind of stuff. And I don't want this video to become about that, but what I do want to do is I wanted to do an analytics profile on Su'a Cravens because he is kind of a unique prospect. Again, he's a guy who some people were viewing him as a linebacker, some people were viewing him as a safety. And I wanted to tackle both those areas of his game because in that draft class, I did the same thing. I looked at Su'a Cravens as a safety and looked at him as a linebacker and ultimately had the conclusion that I didn't see him as a special player in the NFL. So I wanted to get into all the facets, all the reasons why I think that, that he kind of has maybe not his days are not numbered, but he's a guy that he's not exactly going to become elite, and I kind of wanted to explain why. So yeah, terms and definitions will be in the description. So if you're new to the show, if you're not familiar with the work that I do, all the stuff I'm going to be discussing today in terms of the terms and everything else will be in the description. So let's start with Su'a Cravens, and let's start with him as a linebacker. So this is his data when it comes to him as a pursuit linebacker. The main thing that pursuit linebackers win with, or at the very least, the big thing that shows significant success is solo tackle data. According to Su'a Cravens' solo tackle data, his best year at USC, he only had a 57.98 solo tackle mark share score. 100% of multiple All-Pro linebackers had at least a 90 or higher score, and 100% of Pro Bowl linebackers had at least a 77 or higher score since the 1996 NFL draft class. So based on Su'a Cravens as a linebacker, he would have to become an outlier in order to become a multiple All-Pro, multiple Pro Bowl type linebacker based on his data traits. So he just was not really that productive of a linebacker solo tackle wise when he was at USC. And when you look at his athleticism data, he had a 14.71 explosive lower body strength score, a 56.97 speed score, and a 75.96 flexibility score. His flexibility data is fine. I mean, he pretty much has the flexibility indicative of at least almost a multiple All-Pro type and almost a Pro Bowl type. But as you can clearly see, he just did not have the speed for his size to be an All-Pro guy, did not have the speed for his size to be a Pro Bowl guy, and the biggest disparity of all was his explosive lower body strength, which was neither All-Pro nor Pro Bowl. So his big issues when it comes to his linebacker athleticism traits is that he just was not very explosive. Again, explosive lower body strength deals with hip power, basically how powerful you are in terms of your hips and your ankle muscles as well. Basically lower body power, lower body explosiveness. So he's a guy that definitely has good flexibility, so he can move well in space, but he's kind of average speed. For his size, he's average speed, and his explosiveness is just significantly below average when it comes to comparing him to linebackers. So as a linebacker, this is a guy that I think, if you just look at him as a linebacker, he does not quite have the athleticism traits to hit high quality outcomes, nor does he have the production to hit high quality outcomes when it comes to the linebacker position. So now let's evaluate him at the strong safety position. So I picked strong safety because when he came out, he was about 6 foot, 226 pounds, around there. Which is strong safety type. 226 pounds. That's a pretty big that's a big safety. And when I ran his numbers through the strong safety group, he had a 61.33 solo tackle data score, a 75.71 interception data score, and a 73.07 flexibility, pass deflection data score. And when you look at it compared to All-Pro strong safety types and Pro Bowl strong safety types, his solo tackle data did not hit All-Pro or Pro Bowl level. His pass deflection did hit Pro Bowl level for strong safety types, and his interception also hit Pro Bowl level, but he pretty much did not hit the minimum threshold for All-Pro potential. And again, his solo tackle data did not hit the minimum threshold when it comes to multiple Pro Bowl strong safety types because of his solo tackle data being so low with the 61.33 out of 100. So even when you look at him as a safety, as a strong safety, he just does not hit the minimum thresholds that he needs to hit in order to be a high-quality outcome type of safety. And then when we get to his athleticism data, he performs a little bit better when it comes to explosive lower body strength. He has a 59.95 compared to strong safeties. He has a 36.15 speed score and a 90.14 flexibility score. So his flexibility score is really where he has the most potential, in terms of his athletic profile. Pretty much hits the All-Pro level for flexibility, All-Pro, Pro Bowl level for flexibility, but his speed doesn't quite hit the Pro Bowl level for strong safety types, nor does his explosiveness hit the Pro Bowl level for strong safety types. So again, based on Su'a Cravens from a linebacker perspective, he neither had the production nor the athleticism indicative of a high-quality linebacker, nor does he have the athleticism or production indicative of a high-quality strong safety at the NFL level. So from the very get-go, Su'a Cravens just did not look like someone with the potential to become a high-quality NFL player at either extreme. Whether you think he's a linebacker or you think that he's a safety, he didn't quite fit in either one of those boxes enough to be considered a high-quality NFL player. And then when we look at his actual NFL season, and I compared him to the safeties because that's what I saw where he was listed as. I might have to go back and fix this, but based on the stuff that I had, he was kind of playing sort of a strong safety-ish kind of role in 2016, and based on his data there, he had average impact overall. He had a little bit above average interception data, a little bit above average pass deflection data. Pass deflection is probably the best sort of area that he had. That was a little bit in like the top 50 to top 60 of safeties in 2016 when it comes to pass deflection data. But overall, he was just kind of an average impact guy. His impact was kind of like a top 100 safety impact in 2016. So not exactly the best overall season in terms of overall impact in terms of 2016, kind of average-ish impact. So ultimately, what can I really say about Su'a Cravens? Well, again, I think that from the get-go, he had lots of inconsistencies. He was neither a Pro Bowl linebacker. He didn't really fit into that box, nor did he fit into the Pro Bowl strong safety group. And maybe some of this has to do with the fact that when he was at USC, there was so much confusion about what he was. When he originally got there, he was, determined to be a safety. People were saying, oh, he's going to be the next Troy Polamalu. And then the coaching staff moved him to linebacker. And then he was doing linebacker things and having to change his body for that position because it's not an easy feat to go from safety to a linebacker. There's a lot of mental processing kind of changes as well in terms of how you need to approach things. Your body composition, you have to change that as well, which, he came out, he was 226 pounds, so he was still working on his body composition, as he was entering the NFL. And that is just not a position you want to be when you get to the NFL level. When you're talking about NFL level, NFL players, these are guys that the ones who do the best are the ones that already have everything figured out. The guys that, hey, I'm a quarterback, and all they do in their entire college career is be a quarterback. Or they're a running back, and all they do in their career is they be a running back. Or they're a wide receiver, and all they do is be a wide receiver because it gets them reps, it gets them experience, it gets them to get their body into the type of shape that they need it to be in terms of from a body composition standpoint. And with Su'a Cravens, he was just fighting an uphill battle. He wasn't fitting into the safety box because he had to throw everything away at one point at USC to focus on becoming a linebacker. And then once he actually was a linebacker for USC, he still didn't catch up to where his body needed to be from a body composition part, nor from an instincts and a production standpoint at USC to be a very high quality pursuit linebacker. So if anything, I think the lesson to be learned from Su'a Cravens, if he eventually does retire, or if his NFL career doesn't end in the way that people thought it would, is you have to give credit to guys that you have to pay attention to guys like this, because I think that guys that are like this, that are in this limbo land, and it's no fault to the player. It's just that you have to understand that this isn't a finished product. The NFL is not like the NBA. It's not like this thing where they can just take a flyer on a guy and develop him, and then boom, he becomes something in the NFL. A lot of times when it comes to the NFL, and a lot of based on the data that I do, you're more likely to hit on a pick if you have a pick that's already a fully formed thing, in terms of their production, in terms of their athleticism, their body composition, than hitting on something that isn't quite there from a body composition standpoint, isn't quite there. A guy that needs some development, a guy who needs to develop in the NFL, most of the time those guys don't really work out. There's definitely cases where they do, but not all the time. So again, that's kind of why I want to do this video, just to show Su'a Cravens in terms of what he looked like coming out of college, and the big issue with him coming out of college, which to me was the fact that he was in between these two extremes and he didn't excel in either extreme. And when you have a player like that that's just in this limbo kind of situation, didn't have enough experience to really develop into a high quality safety, nor enough experience to develop into a high quality linebacker, or the body composition aspect of that position, then this is what the result is. You get a linebacker who's struggling, a guy that doesn't know what to do, because this guy's at the NFL level, and he's having to compete against guys who've been playing linebacker for 4 years. They've been playing, like they've been getting their body into the shape it needs to be to play linebacker for 4 straight years or 3 straight years. So it's a tough task, to say the least, especially at the highest level of competition. So, of course, my name is James Coburn. You can find my work at draftcoburn.wordpress.com. You can also follow me on Twitter at Geometrics. And if you like this content and you want more content like this, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Share this video as well if anybody that you know, and I'll talk to you guys in the next video. Peace.